This is like as bad as it gets, but I swear the rest of the playthrough is way better. There's like 3 hours left in this VOD. I will get you through it. I left timestamps for story important moments if you just want to skip through. Sorry, brother.
Iadakan calls out to us, striding over to inspect. I take it you gentlemen are conversing about your assignment together. Of course, Mr. Iadakan. We were just discussing whether we'd take our picture, right, Ben? Well, that's good then. Good thing you guys weren't talking about something off topic. Like gossip. Like Mello, joining my stream. That would be a pretty embarrassing use of your time right off the bat, I think. Especially considering you're currently the subject of some fairly humorous gossip, aren't you, Mr. Nito? I'm awash in a wave of shame from his words. I'm the subject of gossip. I look at Ben and I can see he feels it as well. If the air around someone needs clearing, clear it yourself.
What?
Iadakan has a point. I got a what? Iadakan has a point. Maybe once a friendship is established, I can learn more about her. Her, huh? Alright, off you go now, and remember to get your assignment done by the end of the week. The room empties out slowly, most of my peers still chatting and discussing their plans for the assignment. Before I can continue talking with Ben about our own project, the Stuco president is already packing up and exiting the room. Skedaddle, dude. Remember that Olivia isn't Fang. Guess we'll talk later then. Packing up my own notebook, I wave goodbye to my new favorite teacher and head off to my next class. She's not Fang. ... Walking into history class for the first time, and it's about what I expect it to look like. Pictures of historical figures, small relics from various regions, and cartography of the Earth during its stages of continental drift. Though I notice there's a distinct lack of a teacher in the class. Must be finishing up their lunch, I assume. Well, better get a good seat now that they're all taken. Before they're all taken. Eeny, meeny, miny. This one. I settle myself into my chosen desk and pull out my history book and notebook, along with a pencil. As the classroom fills with more and more students, it becomes a blur of vibrant scales. A few minutes pass, and I'm still wondering, where's the teacher? The suddenness of the door slamming open stops any and all noise. It's quiet enough to hear a pin drop. The figure walks into the class. It wouldn't be. It couldn't be. There's no way it would be. What? Oh, sweet heavens, no. He stands there and stares down at everyone, menacingly. He's the history teacher too? Oh, god damn it, god damn it. Thanks for walking me into my classroom, Sully. Of course, Miss What is it? Of course, Miss Prockling. Oh, thank Raptor Jesus, he isn't our teacher. The Raptor woman adjusts her glasses as she scans around the room before looking down at the paperwork in her hands. Looks like we'll have some late arrivals, but let's get down to business. I know that I introduced myself yesterday, but for any of those who weren't here, her momentary glance at me makes me believe Sally told her about my absence. My name is Miss Prockling, and this is history class. It's Miss Pauling from TF2, god damn it! So we've moved on from Adult Swim teachers. Now we got some TF2 boys, huh? In this course, we'll be learning about the history of our primeval ancestors and their advancements throughout history. You can even say it'll be like going back in time. Doesn't that sound exciting? Despite her admittedly forced enthusiasm, everybody in class responds with uninterested murmuring. Not sure why, though. This all sounds exciting. Did Mr. Carl Sadusky lose his tenure? Where the fuck is he? It's a different school, man. I think we're in, like, the preppy side of Volcaldero Bluffs. I think Snoot Game took place in the shitty school. Anyway, that's a tough name, Miss Prockling. I keep wanting to say Miss Prolicking, that's why I keep fucking up. Miss Prockling. Sigh. She walks over to her desk and places down her pile of folders before flipping open her own special version of the history book. To learn about the extensive history of Saurians and their culture is something I've yearned for. If you can turn to your books to page 36, we'll begin with the first chapter detailing the earliest interaction between Saurians and hominids. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I think I jinxed myself. I keep wanting to say Prolicking. Miss Prockling's history class is the polar opposite to Iadakan's photography class. While her introduction to the class engaged me at first, things have slowed down to an unbearably slow crawl. My eyes scan over the introductory text of the first chapter. Despite the tension between the two groups, human settlers in the New World would continue to make overtures of trade to the native Velociraptor tribes. Pretty sure I've read this line 3 times in a row. I tear my eyes away from the page in the hopes of blinking the boredom away. I look up to see the teacher staring down at various papers on her desk with laser focus. I must have stared too long, though, because I ended up locked in a staring contest with Miss Prockling. She raises an eyebrow at me. Okay then, right. Write down notes of pages 3 through 7 about the discovery of the New World. Without even fully comprehending the words before me, I'm copying the page down to the letter in my notebook. Absent-mindedly, I begin to recall everything that's happened so far with my new classmates. Ben carries himself with a lot of refinement, and is easily my first pick as photography partner. But that Mia girl, she doesn't seem to want to make friends. Of course, I could have figured that out from the cold look she gave me yesterday, not to mention the rude hand gesture. Damien's very friendly, even if he can be a bit too enthusiastic sometimes. And though my encounter with Liz was brief, I could tell she's dependable. My progress in making friends has been pretty good, all things considered. But then there's Olivia. So far, she's an enigma, and coupled with the apparent history she has with the others, it makes me all the more curious about her. Liz said it would be a bad idea to get invested, but in the end it's effectively gossip and hearsay. This had come as something of a shock to me, but... And what do we have here, Mr. Halford? The sudden voice of Miss Prockling snaps me out of my thoughts. I lean my head to the teacher and looking down at... Wait a minute! Olivia's here too? As luck would have it, I share not 1 but 2 classes with Olivia. I must have been so jaded from trying to read this text, but I didn't even notice the girl in the wheelchair. She sits in the front row, diagonally in front of me. And I don't think she noticed this strange twist of fate herself. Only the 2nd day of the school year, and already doodling in class again. She proceeds to pick up the piece of paper from Olivia's desk. Looks like she's been drawing on it, though I can't tell what they are from where I'm sitting. Listen, Olivia, I know history isn't the most exciting subject to learn, but could you at least pretend you're taking notes? The only response I hear from Olivia is a heavy sigh before leaning her head back down. I'm back to it. Yeah, fuck this, yeah. While the teacher returns to skulking around the room, Olivia hunches over a notebook. Although I don't think those are notes she's taking. No one would do something like that with a totalitarian teacher patrolling the room. It's an attempt to get all of us to focus, but... I'm fighting a losing battle to keep my eyelids from shutting! My jaws clench tight to suppress the loud yawn building inside, even as Miss Prockling skulks right past me. Just before my drowsiness can take over me, I notice minute movement in the corner of my eye. One of my classmates glances up at the teacher, whose eyes are roving over the opposite side of the room, and down to scribble something down. The paper is then the paper is then folded into a neat little note, and I watch as the next person carefully unfolds the sheet and also scribbles on it, before folding and passing it along again. We're passing notes? What do you got for me? Surely the skinny's gonna have a turn. Curiosity thoroughly piqued, I await anxiously in my seat for the paper to get to me. It's a dangerous game, passing a note along so Prockling can't see. If I'm participating, does that make me a slacker? The student to my side makes his move to toss the note over. But Prockling starts turning around right then. He flinches, he drops the hot potato on my desk in a flash. I nearly slam my own paper over the page to cover it from sight. Miss Prockling continues to lecture about how the raptors and humans eventually started to get along because they traded narcotic leaves or something like that. Save? Okay. Save. And as you can see on the board here, now! I lift my paper. Luckily, there's plenty of space left. As for what everyone else has drawn, a not-so-solid attempt at a race car. Rough sketches of some eyes. A bunch of doodles. Names in various stylized fonts I could only describe as graffiti. And, oh, of course, it's not high school if someone hasn't drawn a penis. Yeesh, don't get caught with this. That being said, I'm drawing a blank. What should I draw? Am I gonna have to draw? Drawing stuff for others is a nice gesture. Maybe I'll try to break the ice a bit. Although I don't know anything about her. Hey, can't hurt to try though, yeah? I can think of a few things to sketch out here. Let's see. What do you want? What should we draw? What is that? What do I even have going on right now? Draw her with a steady job. She's got huge tits, right? How do her tits look? Draw her black and Chinese. She's looking good, man. What a babe. Here's me.
Okay, we're gonna switch it up a bit. This next one is by Baby Go Yard and DJ Smokey. Some music to drive and fly to.
Oh!
Feeling fly, get frisky.
Oh no! Oh no!
This lore is fucking my head up.
What? 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 Oh no! I tried Control Z.
Wait, New King's actually kind of hot.
I think we're good to go. This is peak. All right. We're done. And done. And done. This is peak right now. What we're looking at. I didn't have a lot of room to really work with, but I surreptitiously admire my work, I find. That I have a long way to go. Feels like I'm being mogged by the other doodles. Alright, Olivia sorta like this. If I slip the paper over Olivia's shoulder, I won't have to get up and risk getting caught. Could you imagine someone passing you this fucking note? Here's you pointing at me saying you are weak. It's a bit tricky and I hesitate, but the paper meets its destination. She doesn't even look back, just takes the paper eagerly. Don't look. It's completely different from how she was acting earlier. Her tail is even swaying side to side. Oh! Is that wagging? Huh. Alright. Now she's gonna see my sketch and possibly think I'm cool. Oh, the smile dropped. She's not turning around. Well, it's not much, so it could also just... I'll be taking that. Miss Prockling snatches the paper from Olivia's claws. She's holding her arms out. She takes a glance at the paper and a small crack of a smile appears on her face before going back to its stoic visage. We are so out? So, this is how you view me, Miss Halford. Prockling holds the paper up for all to see. Everyone in the class does their best to avoid her persecuting gaze. I know that most of you were a part of this as well. Look, I'm not asking for much. Please do your assignments when you're in class. It's the least you can do. We were just passing a note one at a time. She wasn't even paying attention. Yeah, how come all of us are in trouble? I noticed Prockling looking down at Olivia for a moment before letting out a sigh of defeat. Look, since it's only the second day, I'll let this one slide, but I'm warning you now, I won't be so lenient the next time it happens. Otherwise, you'll end up like the last student who decided to be disruptive during class. Pfft, what happened to him? Got a detention slip or something? I'm having a bite of chicken. My dinner. Miss Prockling pulls up the window blinds and pushes the window screen open. She then takes out a walkie-talkie. Oh shit. Sally? Yep. Another hippie. Seat H4. No, 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 no. Good job, soldier. Now, if we can, let's continue. We're on the second floor. I sink back into my seat and continue writing, mainly out of unadulterated fear of experiencing the same wrath from the teacher. I gotta be honest, man, my first drawing was way better, wasn't it? I sink back into my seat and continue writing, mainly out of unadulterated fear of experiencing the same wrath from the teacher. Run it back, yeah. Man, I feel guilty for Olivia. I was the one to pass her the note after all. Maybe I shouldn't have tried. Well, I can always apologize after class. Miss Prockling places the note and continues with her lecture for another half hour. Within 10 minutes of class left, I see Prockling look at the clock above the door. I then notice Olivia grabbing her attention, as if she knew what she's already going to say to her. The teacher nods her head. Olivia grabs her backpack and shoves all of her things into it. In silence, she wheels herself to the door, opens it, and rolls on out. The teacher must have noticed me watching her leave. Accommodations. Well, there goes my chances of saying sorry. Feeling defeated, I decide to focus on writing down my notes for the rest of the time I have left. Although I do wonder, she must have noticed my doodle. I hope to God she hasn't noticed my doodle. That's the worst thing that could have ever happened, is she noticed my doodle. Did she ignore it then? Class comes and goes, and I head back home on the metro. Another day, another dollar. Though this time I pass on the mini breakfast burritos. After how bad they messed me up during PE yesterday, I don't want that stomach. Stop drinking. Instead, I just got a few hash browns from a fast food joint by the metro. I idly scroll through my feed as I usually do, while the metro jostles about to my destination. Just learning how to read. It's been a few days now, and the strange scent of extremely cheap detergent and alcohol have become an afterthought. Drink more! Some of the vines are actually plastic, and the flowers are little air fresheners. Huh. That's not actually something I noticed, more so witnessed when a passenger tried eating one. Some of the vines are real, though. For some reason, they go untouched anyways. Maybe they're just not tasty? Vegetarians don't eat the grass in their lawns, after all. Right? Huh. Here he goes, anyways. The lights have gone out and someone just dropped a wrecking ball right next to me. Must be Mr. Ferris. Good morning, Inko. Good morning. Has work been going fine? It has, slowly. But I'm very thorough. I hate the idea of a place of learning not being an ideal place to learn. And I appreciate our talks. Your perspective has really helped me understand the student body more. You're welcome. Hey, have you given any more thought to the fashion thing? Says Inko. I have, although I can't say I really get it. There's plenty to see everywhere if you... God damn it, Inko. There's plenty to see everywhere if you just look around. Really? Like what? Well, like, look at the girl on the other end of that car there. My girlfriend? It's rather revealing. Well, why do you think I'm so into her, Mr. Ferris? I don't think that's really for me. I love my wife. I just mean as an example. Well, there's an event coming up. I could see about trying something new. What would you recommend? That's a good question. What would be good to use here? In my inner eye, I conceptualize the coolest possible Ferris. The fresh machine is going full throttle. First, sunglasses. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Hell yeah! His eyes may be a little too far apart for that. However, beanie. Oh, he's looking rad. Moving on. Big guns. Fresh jacket. Looking fresh as fuck! There we go, the coolest possible Ferris. Mr. Nito? Sorry, just thinking. Why don't you start with... 1, 2, or 3? None of these are a good choice. You might be right, Zalgo. The people want the seasonal cross-print jacket. Cross-print jacket. Really now? Those all sound rather expensive, Douglas. Yeah, they are. You know what? Try a gold chain necklace. A what? Yeah, just make sure it's appropriately sized so it doesn't look silly. I'm sure it would go a long way, and they're pretty cheap to get. Well, alright. I'll take your word for it. We sure talk about fashion a lot, though. Is it really all everything's about these days? Oh, of course not. What do you want to know about? Who is this old motherfucker? Who is this ancient bag of bones? What does YOLO mean? I've heard the term thrown around recently. That was like 5 years ago. Oh, what is a cross-print jacket? I'm the last person that can tell you. Mr. Ferris and I talk more about contemporary urban slang before we arrive at our stop. Yao Lao is a Chinese guy's name. Art. Mr. Iadakan had just started talking about our first project before, for the class. As soon as he said the word, Olivia's hand had shot up. Her gray eyes sparkled in excitement. Look at her bobbing up and down, and a smile threatened to crush the perpetual frown etched on her snout. The girl vibrates in her seat as she waves her arm in the air, trying to get the teacher's attention. Iadakan's own smile was strained as he and Olivia engaged in a staring contest with one another. I could only marvel as the two argued with each other without a single word. Eventually, Iadakan won by turning off the lights and turning on the cheap projector hanging from the ceiling. And playing a safety video about paint that felt far too graphic for a school setting. I don't think I'll be able to eat barbecue for a while. What? Cute. Thoroughly defeated, Olivia crosses her arms and pouts in her seat. And that is why we won't be using any more of the exotic materials for the projects, Miss Halford. Ugh. Maybe I should have just skipped breakfast entirely. I still don't see the problem. Once you've all had the proper safety handling course, in the second semester, you'll all be allowed to use oil-based paints. Until that time, however, all the assignments will require safer supplies. Now, since we've all pivoted to this, might as well finish the full video. What? You sipping from a flask? The grumpy Gator holds a hand to her throat, mumbling to herself as she grabs a metal flask and drinks from it. The entire display from her was mystifying, at odds with how Ben and Liz described Olivia. In fact, it kind of reminded me of me. I can understand why, after all. Iadakan is... What's the right way to say this guy's name? Drink? Spilled on my lap. Iadakan is letting Ben and I use some of his equipment in photography. My first picture really was accurate. The thrill of experimentation of new possibilities. No doubt that it brings a creative sparkle to her eyes. Eyes that fill with pure malice as they glare daggers my way. ... Oh, was I staring? Oops. Before I could offer an apology, she already had her hands on the wheels. She rolls up to Iadakan's desk. He leans forward intently. I can't make out anything that's said through the video, but going by the occasional glare back, it's not hard to imagine. Crap. I really didn't mean to offend. Iadakan notices I'm watching and motions for me to come forward. Slowly, I shift out of my seat and approach the desk. Alright. Is something going on here? Iadakan speaks in a hushed tone, just loud enough for me to hear over the makeshift manatee. Olivia's telling me you make goofy faces at her. Hang on! When the fuck did I ever do that? Name one time. When did I make goofy faces at Olivia? It's so bad she had to tell the fucking teacher? I'm a goofy ass? No. No! I said he's been staring at me all through class. It's weird. It's like he's never seen someone like me. Can't you move into... Can't you move him to a different seat? Now hold on a sec there, Olivia. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding. Mr. Iadakan! It's like she's a different person here. Alto? She fishes out a canteen of water and brings it to her mouth. You're given a lot of leeway when it comes to seat assignment, but asking for something like this? Wheelchair bitch? I just want him to leave me alone. She sips again. What's that about? Well then, Inko, you tell us. What's on your mind? Can't have disagreements between classmates this early in the year. I'm confused. I didn't know there was any disagreement between us. Well, sometimes it's the little things you do you don't even think about that affects people the most. Anything like that comes to mind? I shake my head. Olivia's glare does not diminish away from my field of view. I mean, I've been a bit curious about her since we sit next to each other, and I'm friends with some of her friends. I thought we were cool! We all sat together at lunch yesterday. Sounds like he just wants to hang out, Olivia. Her face scrunches at the mere thought. Not really interested. He's distracting me from classwork. I want to watch the video without being gawked at. Sorry. I didn't mean it. Does that resolve the issue for you, Olivia? No, I don't want some buddy in this class. Another swig. She takes another sip, but ends up turning the canteen upside down. All out. Olivia, you can go fill that up if you want. ... Hey, buddy. Mom, he's looking at me. You won't be missing anything. The video is nothing you don't already know, I'm sure. Olivia eyes me up suspiciously and slowly moves out the door towards the nearest water fountain. Iadakan sighs. Alright. He leans back in his chair with his arms resting behind his head. Inko, I told you yesterday if the air needed clearing, do it yourself. Now she's in a mood because you were staring at her like a weirdo. And here I thought you two would get along. She even gave you that sketch she made of you. Truthfully, I'm impressed, but here we are. What's going on? Inko. What's going on, big guy? Again, sorry. It's been a pretty busy few days. Yeah, I've gotten into a cool friend group. We're all gonna sit together at lunch. Olivia's there too. She didn't say much, but I got her a soda. I don't know why she's so upset at me. It's nothing personal, Inko. It's not? She's reticent, especially when it comes to change. If you're at her lunch period too, I can see why she's wary of you. If you don't mind me asking, Mr. Iadakan. Yes? Why is she so open with you? How do you mean? Just now, she spoke more in that conversation than all the other times I've seen her yesterday. I saw the canteen, I figured it was something to do with her voice, but it's surprising. Her water bottle's the other way around. It's unfortunate, but she just really rarely talks at all. Without the shades, I look like a fish tank contestant. Here comes CJ. Oh boy, I can't wait to win the 50,000 bucks. She seemed to gravitate towards art and how I taught it, and soon enough I took her under my wing. That's not like a phrase for him. But she lives with Damien, right? He's at the lunch table and she barely talks to him. Poor kid. Hope he's doing alright. He seems to be alright. But yeah, she's distant to everybody else. So much so, I keep hearing weird things about her. Iadakan leans forward in his chair, suddenly attentive. Is this about you gossiping with Ben yesterday? A bit. He showed up to the table and he said something about her being the same after she left. Probably some drama there, but I don't want to pry. He nods. But alas, Liz told me some weird things too. He stops, nodding. I know of her. Something wrong? No, she just said I shouldn't get invested in being her friend. Everyone's being real weird about it, so I was curious for myself. Guess that's why I was looking at her weird. Sorry. Iadakan rubs his temples. Aye. It's worse than I thought. I have to box Shinji now? Get him in here. If there's ever a Creator Clash 3, if there's ever a Creator Clash 3, it's gonna be me, it's gonna be Linus Tech Tips. What is? I'll put it this way. You've met 3 people that know Olivia other than me. Of the 3, only one thinks highly of her, and the other 2 start unloading drama on anyone willing to listen. In this case, you. No wonder you're confused. I hadn't thought of it like that. I don't blame you. You shouldn't be involved in anything stupid. High schoolers, you know. I guess. Iadakan inhales, collecting his thoughts. Important question, then. Do you really want to be Olivia's friend? Huh? I mean, I guess. A judging eyebrow is raised my way. Are you really? Or just curious about her? He seems pretty serious about this. Yes, then. Oh, shit. Oh, you didn't hear it. Oh, you didn't hear any of that. There's no way you heard any of that. Olivia returns to class and rolls right back up to the desk. Back. Have you changed his desk yet? Iadakan nudges his head towards me expectantly, prodding me on. I'm sorry I distracted you during class, Olivia. She looks to Iadakan and gets a similar nod. Sure. I mean, you're welcome. I mean, thanks, Shed. But, no, really, I don't want to be distracted. Come on now, Olivia. The least you could do is give him another chance. You never know. I don't really want to know. I get he's, like, friends with Damien, but I don't really want to, you know... Not in this class. But I'd like to be your friend. Let's wait for the next fucking line. She stops and raises an eyebrow. Lots of those going around recently. Like she was expecting this response. She looks to Iadakan for help. Actually, Olivia, I think he'd make a good friend for you. What? His words were like a battering ram. I'm simply saying, give Inko here a chance. I could almost see the imaginary bulwark she hid behind slowly crumbling from what Iadakan was saying. You're both quite similar at heart, though you may have different methods. Perhaps you'll find some compromise behind cynicism and naivety before you work together. Finally, the last fragments of her imaginary fortress collapse. Olivia can only look at the art teacher with timid confusion painted across her features. Well... I don't... Are you for real, Mr. Iadakan? I am. He's actually in another class of mine. I've seen him. He's passionate about his camera like you are with a brush. And I do expect great things from him. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I really thought, Oh. Oops, she accidentally bit her tongue. Her mouth is clamped shut. It's just my opinion. You can make your own choices, Olivia. She nods furiously. This bitch is adorable. Oh, the movie's about to end. You two should get back to your seats. We good here? Olivia side-eyes me again and nods once more. All right. He motions for us to skedaddle. Olivia backs away to her spot. Thanks, Mr. Iadakan. For what? I just gave an opinion. I'm serious. It's up to the two of you if you want to be friends. Don't screw it up. Has Inko grown eyes or teeth? He's had a full fucking set of teeth, man. He waves me off again and goes up to flip the lights. I get back to my seat and stare absent-mindedly at the projected screen as I digest Iadakan's words. He said he only gave his opinion, but it seemed like he also gave me an opportunity to take the right steps in connecting with Olivia. And with what he said about her being being passionate with a brush, it's gotten me even more curious about her artistic prowess. Speaking of whom, I notice that she occasionally gives me a side eye. I see it. I even see it. I don't think she can see my eyes due to the dim lighting combined with my shades. Yeah, tactical. She stares at me with a sense of strange curiosity, almost as if she's trying to get a read of me from my face alone. We're so back? She says we're back. But from what I can tell from her facial cues, she seems confused and almost shaken up. It's like she wants to say something but keeps on backing away at the last second. Guess her mind is also jostling around from Iadakan's words. Our teacher flicks the light switch and I feel my retinae burn from the bright lamp lights, even with my sunglasses. Alright, normally in your first week we'd be doing something simple, like a color swatch wheel. However, I think you all could imagine something a bit more advanced. The Gator girl's head whipped around at the word advanced. Whatever Olivia was thinking before regarding me seems to be forgotten as she focuses almost entirely on the teacher. Mr. Iadakan holds up a stack of papers for us to see. First things first, I'd like for you all to fill out these topic sheets just so I know how you understand how to safely handle oil-based paints. You gotta tell me, did Cave Manon make Inko in your likeness? I got grounds for suing, man. Pay up. Come on. Last thing we need is another burnt down classroom. Another? The way Iadakan says those words makes me imagine some pretty horrible outcomes. Once you finish your sheets, bring them to me so I can review them. I'll be giving you the permission sheet after I know you lot won't set yourselves on fire or poison yourselves. The Allosaur guy in front of me hands back the stack, and I take a page from it before handing the rest to the Diplo girl behind me. My eyes scan over the sheet. What grade of mask do snouts longer than 3 inches require? And a realization hits me. It's dinosaur questions. I didn't see the first half of that video. My eyes scan over the page and I groan when I see questions I have no answers for. All of them pertaining to dinosaur anatomy. Help me out, Olivia, come here. I just need some help for my homework. The art teacher looks directly at me and then to the side. I try to decipher his meaning, follow his eyes. Oh. I turn in my seat and lean closer to Olivia. Hey, what? What now? What? What is it? I'm not gonna let you draw me. I think you're too late. I drew you and it was awesome. Come on, how was the Olivia picture? That Olivia picture was spot on. She didn't like that self-portrait? I'm not gonna let you draw me. What the hell? Looking at her paper, I see she's already answered the questions I couldn't. It was perfect. Okay, good. I show her my own page, tapping the upper section that was still blank. I love that fucking portrait. Olivia groans and looks to Iadakan pleadingly. As she gets for her troubles. All she gets for her troubles is a thumbs up. Nice fucking troubles, baby! Fine. Fine, here. She holds out her sheet for me. Wait, isn't this cheating? The art teacher wouldn't. When did he get this to his desk? Why does he have his sleeping mask? If I look over the answers, I still learn the safety procedures. So what's the difference in the end? That must be what he's thinking. You have to cheat. Either that or he doesn't care. I copy the words from Olivia's sheet, doing my best to at least rephrase them. Some of my classmates are already walking up to Iadakan's desk. He's barely reading the pages, not even taking the sleeping mask on. Off. Thanks, Olivia. Yeah, are we just allowed to cheat? Whatever. Olivia finishes her page in a few seconds and wheels herself to the desk too. The last answer I'm fairly confident on. Like what flashpoint means. I get up and go to Iadakan's desk and set my safety assessment down. Good. Here's your permission slip to use hazardous paints. He didn't even bother to look over my worksheet. He lifts the eye mask from his face and looks at me with one eye. What? Most of that stuff doesn't apply to you, Inko. Just don't drink the pain or get it in your eyes and you'll be okay. Yes, Mr. Iadakan. Attaboy, now back to your desk and wait for class to end. Tomorrow I'll be starting you all on something simple. Like painting a cube. Or a ball. Yeah, model dodgeball painting. Dodgeball! Dodgeball! The eye mask drops down and I return to my seat. The class's clock reads 5 minutes till lunch. Olivia's back to leering at me. I consider what I should do or say, some kind of icebreaker. Now kids, whip out your Mummy Brown. Mr. Iadakan said we're similar and I can see some of what he means. But I'm a photographer and she's a painter. So a cubist and a Dadaist walk into a bar. Never mind. We're not gonna rizz her up. That's the right thing, right? Am I rizzing her?